Alright, well this is just kind of a very quick spread that we grabbed from the beach here. Some kind of familiar home items. We've got a little disposable ice tray here in plastic, as well as a reusable coffee cup that is no longer eco-friendly at this point in its life. We've also collected some other things like soles of shoes, and this is just real cute rubber slipper, baby slipper.
But where does all this trash come from? The oceans work in a certain way. Hawaii is surrounded by the rotating currents of the North Pacific subtropical gyre. These currents rotate in a clockwise direction between Asia and North America. A piece of rubbish orbiting these currents would take 6.5 years to get back to where it started. But in the middle of these currents are areas of calmer water. It is here where garbage from both land and boats collects. These have been called garbage patches, and in the North Pacific there are 2, either side of Hawaii.
And then this here is, if you look closely, from the Soviet Union, which we know has not been together since the 90s, early 90s. So this is at least 20 years old. Another sure sign of it being in the ocean for a long period of time is if you zoom in close there, you can see all of these bryozoans here. This is a colony of organisms, obviously dead now, but they left their casing there.
It's definitely been on the water for a while.
The Soviet Union box we found was lost at sea before the country collapsed in 1991. It had been floating in the North Pacific garbage patch for over 20 years before washing up on Camilo Beach. There are 11 gyres in our planet's oceans. We know that 5 have garbage patches, and they are all interconnected. It is possible for a piece of floating debris to travel the whole way around the world on a circuit called the Grand Tour. From the UK, for example, a piece of trash would travel through 8 of the world's gyres. The Viking Gyre, the Polar Bear Gyre, the Melville Gyre, the Aleut Gyre, the Turtle Gyre, the Majid Gyre, the Navigator Gyre, and the Columbus Gyre. When a piece of plastic litter enters the ocean, the sun and the waves break it down into smaller pieces. These small microplastics float around in the surface layer of the world's seas. Also in this layer are man-made chemicals called persistent organic pollutants, or POPs. These are chemicals such as PCBs and DDT that have been banned for their harmful effect on people and the environment. Like plastics though, they take a long time to break down. Microplastics act as a magnet for POPs, and they bind together in the water. The surface layers of the oceans are full of marine life, and many species accidentally ingest microplastics. Once in the stomach of a species, POPs and chemicals associated with plastic manufacture, such as bisphenol A, leach out of the plastic and into the body's tissues. When the smaller organism is eaten by a larger one, the chemicals are passed upwards through the food chain in a process called bioaccumulation. For species at the top of the food chain, like human beings and dolphins, chemical concentrations can be very high indeed, causing severe health problems.
I think both Stacey and I try not to tell other people what to do and just kind of act and lead by example. However, if you are gracious enough to be watching this video, I hope that you know that this stuff doesn't go away. Trash isn't falling from the sky, it's coming out of our human hands, and we're not trying to point any fingers or place blame on anyone, but all of us have to work together if we're gonna.
We all need to take responsibility.